when you stay away from it completely all the time, and before you go and judge or say something, let me explain. When you're first starting this journey out and you need to stay away from all that stuff, 100% stay away from all that stuff. Taking pride in the way you look. Yeah, I look better, I feel better, and I think of myself as a better person because of the weight I lost. My breathing, my lungs, my organs in my body feel so much better, healthier looks. I want to look better. The health is just part of it. This is the Gastric Life Podcast, and I'm your host, James Pugh. Pew, 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 pew. Now, let's start with the obvious for you guys that are watching on YouTube. Yes, I am in a Mario 64 t-shirt. Well, it's actually Mario Kart. So I'm not as nerdy as I thought I was because I got the wrong game. But yeah, you get it. I'm a nerd. Welcome to the podcast. So I had my year follow-up this past week, and it was exciting. I was actually excited to go to the doctor. I don't like to go to the doctor. I don't ever go to the doctor, but I was excited to go to this doctor. Let me explain. Have you ever gone to school and, before school started back for the year, right? You go and you get new clothes and stuff, and there's a little bit of an excitement about you, right? You haven't seen your friends over the summertime, and you have some new swag and you have some new gear, and you're looking at yourself in the mirror before you walk out the door, and you're like, I look good. This is exactly how I felt before going to the doctor's office last Tuesday. I knew I lost a lot of weight. I literally lost another 45 pounds since the last time I saw him. And I, of course, had new swag on. And I, of course, did my hair. I did my beard because, well, let's face it, I felt like I look good. And that's what this podcast is all about, right? Looking in the mirror at the end of the day and being like, I look good, being happy with what you see in the mirror. And I was happy with what I seen in the mirror, right? So going to the doctor's office was an exciting time for me. Maybe if you've had surgery, you can relate to this and comment below if you're over on YouTube. But yeah, it was exciting. I was excited to go and see the doctors. I was excited to see what the nutritionist would say and everything else. And it was a good experience. It was a good, doctor visit. It took a lot longer to say than it should have. But the point is, so I go in and I see the doctor first, and then I go and see the nutritionist. And the doctor asked me a few questions, asked me my goals, asked me where I was, how I was feeling, and asked me, and it was a weird question, do I regret it? Did I regret, anything I regret with the surgery and stuff? Absolutely not. I wake up every day happy, for the most part. You ask my wife, she'll disagree with you on some of those days. But for the most part, I wake up every day happy that I had the surgery and just in a good mood. If I get to sleep and stuff, I'm supposed to. And, I'm able to do things that I was not able to do beforehand. I'm able to accomplish things I was not able to accomplish beforehand. And just overall, it's been a great experience. So I go and see the nutritionist afterwards, right? And we have a little bit of a long conversation. We talk a lot of stuff, actually. We talk about this podcast. We talk about mental state and how we both believe that the mental state of a patient is the most important part and most important aspect of succeeding or failing in surgery and post-op and all that. We talked about that in depth last episode a little bit. So I encourage you to go back and listen to both of them. Actually, there's two parts to it, but they were good, and we got into a little bit of depth on mental and psychological and all that. But we also talked about me losing more weight or not losing more weight, because it was funny because in November I saw her last time. She actually told me that I was around 245-ish, somewhere around there. And she kind of thought I was going to cap out there. She thought I wasn't going to really lose any more weight. So when she saw me this time and I lost another 40 pounds, she was just kind of like, well, last time I told you weren't going to lose any more weight really. And, I'm kind of afraid to say that now because you just keep on losing. And one of the most awesome things I think I've ever heard in my life was I was in the top 5% of patients that had gastric surgery that reached a normal BMI state. That's right. I have hit a normal BMI state, which is absolutely amazing. I didn't even know I was there. She told me I was there. She was just like, yeah, you're there. Stop losing weight, pretty much. Now, she did say that majority of patients, not all patients, and all patients are different, of course, but a lot of patients will gain about 20% of what they lost back. So that would put me, if I were to gain 20% back, that would put me around 240, 245. I wanted before all this started to be about 250 and then kind of mask out and stuff. But to be 100% honest with you, now I'm looking at close to, I want to be around 225, 230 tops. So she just told me that, one of the couple things we talked about also was, what my calorie intake was, what my protein, my carbs, and all that was. She suggested, because I'm anywhere from 16 to 2,000 calories a day, she wants me about that 2,000 mark every single day now. So, that's going to probably be easier than I think it's going to be because, I'll just eat a little bit more calories. It shouldn't be a problem. But, I say that, but I don't eat a lot. Like I eat throughout the day, but honestly, like I eat real small throughout the day. Like I'll eat like 8 or 9 times, but they're small portions, real small portions. And once I'm full, I don't eat no more. I don't keep shoving food in my mouth. I just train myself to the point where it's just like I eat and then stop. And then if I'm full, I just don't eat no more. But so, yeah, it might be a little bit challenging not to have, shove sweets down my throat. Now, if I were to just shove the sweets down my throat all day, it'd be easy, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to start reverting back to that, even though I do have sweets sometimes. And that's something else we talked about. She asked me how I was doing with my diet, with sweets, this, that, and the other. I was 100% with her. I was like, look, Monday through Friday, I'm great. We'll say perfect almost. Like I eat the same exact thing in the truck every single night. I literally have the same snacks, the same treats, the same protein shake. For dinner, most of the weeks we eat the same thing. I can tell you what we eat on day, what we eat, and what my meal and my calories and all that is on those meals. And I can tell you pretty much everything. I was like, but on the weekends, we do eat out. We eat out a lot. If I buy my own meal, I always bring 3/4 of it home pretty much. And I'll get a dessert and I'll normally bring it home and it'll take me 2 days to eat it. Like if we get a piece of cheesecake, I'll eat half of it and then the other half the next day or something like that. That's something I do. Is something that I used to stay away from, as in like when I first started this journey, because I knew I couldn't control myself, but now I'm able to control myself in moderations. So I give myself that little bit on the weekends when I want a treat or something like that, or even on the weekdays when I go to Starbucks and get a cheese Danish. Yes, I do get a cheese Danishes from Starbucks. They're amazing. But, I didn't know how she was going to react to that. And she actually was like, I worry more about the people that say they stay away from it completely. She says, because what happens is, and I 100% agree with her. I don't think I've talked about it here yet because this is only like the 4th podcast or whatever. But when you stay away from it completely all the time, and before you go and judge or say something, let me explain all the way. What happens is you have a breaking moment or a breaking point, and 9 times out of 10, people go down a rabbit hole from there. And they get depressed, they get, anxiety, and they feel, woe is me. And all of a sudden that one slip up turns into another slip up, that turns into another slip up, and turns into another 30 pounds, it turns into another 70 pounds. And you're gaining all that weight that you lost back because of one slip up. It's because you never gave yourself room to, be normal. Now, let me clarify when I say that is, when you're first starting this journey out and you need to stay away from all that stuff, 100% stay away from all that stuff. I still have a list of red flags up here on my wall where I talk about the things that I can't do or I don't need around me 24/7, because if I do, I will slip up more often than not. One of the things is don't leave freaking pie in my house. I'm being dead serious right now. Like if I leave pie in my house, I will eat it until it's gone. So like get together, holiday dinner, like this past Thanksgiving, I took a piece of pie, or actually a couple pieces of pie, and sent the rest with somebody else. Normally, I would have that whole pie because there's normally like you know how it goes. You you go to dinners and stuff like that, and there's always too much food. Like unless like y'all are just you got it together. There's always too much freaking food, and I'm always left with it because everybody's always eating here and bringing it to my house, and then all of a sudden I'm left with all this food, and I just eat it all. So I don't do that no more. It's like, hey, take it with you, or I'm throwing it away. Plain and simple. And I have thrown stuff away before because I know I can't do it. So certain things, if you have to stay away from, you have to stay away from them. But you also have to find that fine line onto giving yourself that freedom at sometimes. Now, I say that, but this is for me. This is how it works for me. This is how I know myself. I have trained myself, and this works for me. Maybe if you can't do that, and if you were to eat it one time, you would slip up and go down that rabbit hole. Then to each their own. But for me, I work better being able to have certain things every now and again. Weekends or whatever. So yeah, that was a little bit of a rabbit hole. We went there. That's cool. So today's podcast, introduction was pretty long. Cool. Yeah, we are actually going to talk about what happened when I lost 200 pounds. Yeah. What happened when I lost 200 pounds? I wanted to talk to you guys about this because there's a lot of you out there that are just starting the journey, or just, maybe you've started to lose weight and you notice things and you're just like, man, I can't imagine what'll happen when I lose more weight, what it was like when you get to a certain weight, maybe your goal weight or whatever the case may be. Like, what are some of the things you're going to notice? And we're going to start out by number one. We're going to kind of break it up into different sections here, and you're going to start thinking better about yourself. What do I mean by that? Well, it goes back to me looking in the mirror, right? Like me looking in the mirror and not being so critical on what I look like, and not being so down on how I look, and taking pride. And listen to this, taking pride in the way you look. See, you can ask my wife, before when I was 400 pounds, I didn't really care about taking care of myself. Like, I did the bare minimum of what I needed to do to get ready to go. I would wait until my wife was pretty much ready to go, walk in there, throw some water in my hair, and throw a t-shirt on and a pair of shorts and some flip-flops and walk out the door. It didn't bother me. I didn't care because, it was just a mental state of some sorts that I don't know if it was like, oh, I'm fat anyways. Does it matter? I don't know, to be honest with you. But I do know, since I've lost all this weight, I take more pride in what I look like. I take more pride in like my craft and my appearance on camera even. Like, you go back to some of my older videos on my first YouTube channel and just look at me, you can see where I just didn't do my hair. I didn't worry about the shirt. I looked, I was a wreck, and I didn't care. Now I care, which is awesome, right? Like, you should want to care about your appearance. You should want to care about your hygiene. You should want to care about that, which I care about hygiene. Don't get me wrong. I was a bigger guy, so that was one thing I did care about, was hygiene. Make sure I had deodorant on, make sure I took showers. I take 2 or 3 showers a day if I had to. But the appearance wise, looking back, I didn't care. Now I do. My wife picks on me now. Like, no lie. Like, I'm being dead serious. My wife picks on me now because of how long I take in the shower washing my beard, how long I take doing my hair, how long I take picking out a t-shirt. Like, the things that I used to pick on my wife for, the things that I used to get mad about, right? Like, men, what I'm talking about, waiting on the woman getting ready was ridiculous, right? Like, now she's like, she can not all the time, because I don't procrastinate, but sometimes she's done and ready before I am. I'm just kind of like, man, how the roles have switched. So taking care of myself and having a better appearance about myself before I walk out the door, something has changed when I've lost 200 pounds. I don't know why. I don't understand, but that's what happens, and, looking in the mirror, and this is part of it, I think it's psychological because now I look in the mirror and I see a version of me that I didn't see until since literally high school, like almost middle school. Like I started gaining my weight at the age of 18. So I was like right coming, from like a soft or junior to a senior, and then past, that's when I started gaining on my weight. And I started working at Popeyes. True story, 100 pounds in a year at Popeyes. Come on, you know what I mean? Like when you get in free Popeyes chicken, you're gonna eat it. You're gonna eat a lot of it, and I did. But so I haven't seen this version of myself in a very long time. So looking in the mirror and seeing this, and just look, let me explain something to you. My sister-in-law, shout out if she's listening. She she called me out at dinner the other night because I was sitting there and I just kind of flex, I just kind of, just sitting there in my arm and I just kind of flex my arm like that. You see that? Because I see the muscle rise and it's something that I've never haven't seen in a very long time. The muscle density that's coming in with the shirt, the shirt on. I just got to pull it tight a little bit. But you see what I'm saying? Like I could see these things, and every now and then I look at myself because I put in the work. I look good. You look good. You're going to look good if you stick to it and you lose the weight that you want to lose. So don't feel bad about that, first of all, and don't be embarrassed of it. She was like, "What? Are you watching yourself flex?" I was like, "Absolutely. Look at it. Do you see it? Do you see the muscle coming in? Like you didn't see that before. Of course, I'm looking at myself. You know what I mean? Like, come on, I look good. I know I'm just, but I'm excited about myself with that when it comes to that because it's something I used to. Now I do have certain self-conscious things I still worry about and stuff, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But yeah, I look better, I feel better, and I think of myself as a better person because of the weight I lost. Just losing 200 pounds, like so much has changed. Let's see. I kind of covered a bunch of those. We kind of skipped, we were going through them. But, another thing is what happens when you lose 200 pounds as well. You lose 200 pounds. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you lose 200 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, what are things that happen when you lose 200 pounds? Well, one is you can get up and move a little bit better, huh? Your joints and your back and your knees and your ankles and your legs in general don't hurt like they used to. My breathing, my lungs, my organs in my body feel so much better. They don't feel overworked. When I sleep at night, I feel like I get better sleep. My body feels refreshed because it's not carrying an extra 200 and over 200 pounds around now. Yeah, hey man, we lost over 200 pounds now. And, I'm able to move around. I'm able to have more energy. I have more energy. I have so much energy. Like, it's unreal. Like, I have my days where I am tired and I'm wore out, and that could be called a bariatrics, or it could just be the work is catching up to me because I work all the time. And that's not like to try to pump myself up there or anything. It's just I have a lot of stuff that I am responsible for now with 2 YouTube channels, full-time job, my beautiful wife, and, church and all that, God, putting him. So I'm always busy, not to mention all the honey-do list things around the house that I never get complete. You know what I'm talking about if you're a man. That thing just, you get one done and 4 are added to it. It's like, where did these come from? And they come up. Okay, I'll knock 3 of them out. There's 7 more there. How did that? You know what I mean? Like, it's never ending. So I'm always busy. And, I'm totally forgetting where I was going with this, but yeah, I have more energy. Like before I had, lost all this weight and stuff, I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to move around. I didn't want to, do honey-do list. I didn't want to, I barely want to do my YouTube channel. I get excited about it and stuff like that. But, it's just, going to work, staying up all night and driving in a truck, all these things were exhausted. I was drinking energy drinks all the time, just energy drink off the top of an energy drink just to keep moving. Losing 200 pounds has changed that for me. So what else has changed since I've lost 200 pounds? So I'm not going to go too deep into this, but men, it's a family friendly podcast. But yeah, I will say, if you ever heard the 50-pound rule, I'm just going to say it's true. Okay. Listen, it's family friendly, parents, I apologize, but yes, that is true. Let's move on to something else. You can email me if you want to know what I'm talking about. I'll explain to you a little bit better in there. But yeah, losing 200 pounds, I feel, look, and am healthier overall. I want to do things that I've never been able to do because I weighed 400 pounds, because I was never energetic, because my joints always hurt, because my back always hurt, because I wasn't happy with myself, because I wasn't excited with what I looked like, because I was unhealthy. I'm able to do all this stuff now because, I lost 200 pounds. Another thing that happened was this. I developed some loose skin. And this kind of goes back to the, self-conscious part I was talking about earlier is, it's something that I'm a little self-conscious about. I'm not too self-conscious about it. Like, I am self-conscious about it, especially when I get in certain positions working out and stuff. That kind of stuff's there. I've actually been trying to honestly work my way up to posting pictures online because I feel like, honestly, if it's something that I struggle with, and I'm not very self-conscious. I have a video, no lie, I have a video of me at 400 pounds doing a cannonball into my pool in slow motion. Can you imagine the waves and the skin that was moving around on that impact of 400 pounds hitting the water? All I know is shampoo and water does a great mix, and the whole splash zone was everywhere in a 5-foot proximity of the pool itself. And it was awesome. So yeah, I was never self-conscious about that, but for some reason, I have a little bit of a self-conscious thing going on with the loose skin. Not a lot, but enough to where I have procrastinated. You know what I'm trying to say on posting these pictures online. So, if you want to see these pictures, little encouragement below. Hey, if you're on YouTube, a little comment below. Let me know you would love to see it too, because it honestly will encourage you. That will definitely push me over because I definitely want to encourage you guys as much as possible, you gals, as much as possible. It's 2023. Can't just say guys anymore, even though when I say guys, I mean everybody. But, I don't want to get in trouble. So guys, gals, and whatever else you call yourself out there. But anyways, so when it comes to losing 200 pounds, some of the best things that I've gained from it is confidence when it comes to looks, looking at myself in the mirror for the most part, instead of the loose skin, and just liking what I see and having energy and be able to do more things and be able to accomplish more things in my life, being able to take pride in my appearance every single day I get up, and just overall being healthier. Like, the overall goal is to be healthier. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys, which I promise you I will be in this podcast, the looks, healthier looks. Like, I want to look better. The health is just part of it. And to be honest with you, listen. And to be honest with you, I gotta make sure I don't hit the mic stand. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm going to be 100%, and I don't care what anybody tells me, because this is me. I'm talking about me right now. There is nothing wrong with me wanting to look better and putting health second. Because if I look better, evidently I'm also going to be healthier. You won't have one without the other. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to look better and not be healthier. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you can't have one without the other. Now, you can have one without the other eventually, and then eventually the other one will come back too. And what I mean is, if you ever start relapsing, right, you start eating unhealthy again, you're looking good, you're doing great, and all of a sudden you start slipping back into bad habits and stuff. And then what happens is you start to gain a little weight, you start to get unhealthy, and then the weight starts coming on, and then all of a sudden you're looking in the mirror one day and you're like, what happened? Like, yeah, I get that. But if you stick true what you want to look good and you want to stay looking good, that means you're hitting the gym a little bit. You may be going for a run every now and again, and you're just kind of watching what you eat like you're supposed to anyways. It's okay to want to look good and then put health second, because you're going to get both with that outcome. You see what I'm saying? So, all right, I ain't going to talk about that no more. So, with all that being said, so if you are, say, looking for ways, if you want to support your boy here doing this, wanting to help people out, there's a couple ways. And I've had several people reach out to me on text message. Like, literally, I've had several people reach out to me and say, hey, I love the podcast. It's very inspirational. It's very good and stuff. Listen, I love you guys, and I want you to keep doing that. Don't stop. Do it on YouTube in the comment section, because the algorithm loves that, and it will literally, your comment, even if it's one comment, pushes my video out a little bit more to other people. And while you're down there, if you like the video, that's even better. That's like the cherry on top for YouTube saying, oh, they liked the video and they commented, because they don't know if you like the video if you comment, because you could say, hey, I hate your video, which is still good interaction. That'll still work. So if you hate the video and you hate the podcast, let me know in the comments below. Leave a comment below there. I'll take in consideration. But you liking it also help. But if you're like, hey, Pew, like, I really, really like your podcast. I really, really like what you're doing. I want to get on board. I want to really help out. Go to the description. There's links down there to some of the things I use to maybe help you out in your journey and stuff. You want to use one of those links to support me. Won't cost you any more money, and it literally pays me like a couple cents on a dollar. Like, no, I'm not even lying. Like, it's literally like a couple cents to a dollar. So you can use those two. They're all affiliate links. I put a bunch of different stuff down there just to kind of help you guys, see what I got going on and stuff, and what I use on a daily basis and believe in. Then we'll start doing some reviews over here on YouTube side of things to kind of show you guys what I use, how I use it, and why I use it, and tell you, if you should buy it or not. Which, if I'm using it every day, I guess I would suggest you buy it, But in any case, oh yeah, and by the way, I almost forgot to mention, if you want to follow me on social, I'm gonna start putting this in the description and stuff too. You can follow me over at Facebook. My actual profile, James Pugh, just look me up, I'm using for Gastric now. So I'll be posting inspirational stuff on there. I'm gonna be posting just any kind of post, and you get to see a little bit of an insight of my life. If you have questions, you need more in-depth questions and stuff, you're more welcome to DM me over there. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I do have certain people DMing me now and stuff on certain, remember, I do run more than one YouTube channel, so I'll get back to you, I promise. You just have to give me some time. But in any case, I see you guys in the next podcast, and well, you know it. Pew out. Pew pew.